Guys, I'm standing here with Chinonso Akalezi. She's an HR professional, and we're just going to talk a little bit about recent happenings in the banking sector. Wow. That's the only thing I can say. Well, in fact, first and foremost, you know I'm very rude. Sometimes I jump into the topic and I totally forget. Welcome to the crunch.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So, the recent wave of retrenchment in the banking industry, what is going on?
Okay, the banking sector now, due to the fact that the federal government has given them a directive to make the TSA, as we all know, now is affecting the bank.
How?
In the sense that most ministry, the funds that are coming from ministry, they don't touch it for a long time. Banks can do business with it.
Yeah.
Then with that, they can actually keep
run operations. Yes.
But with the new single account,
of course,
it's going to affect the bank, and they have to cut down costs.
Yes.
Now, it's going to affect mostly the people that don't bring any business to the bank.
Oh, okay.
Before the bank can decide who to lay off, who not to lay off, there are so many factors involved. Now, if you're working in, like, you're just an office desk person, then a desk officer, you should be one of the people that they would lay off, because you don't expect those that go out to bring the deposits to be laid off. How would they get money into the bank? Then also, another thing that the bank considers before they retrench anybody or before you are in the list is either your performance has not been meeting up to standard or you've been having errors.
Okay.
Then also, if you've been having if you've been absent from work a lot of times, you know, that's one of the reasons why you should not just decide not to go to work. Because when things like this happen,
those
the people
are the
they consider, they are the people that have been absent, people that are not meeting up to standard. Basically, those are the people that are being affected now.
Now, the federal government has issued a directive asking the banks to stop. Is that likely to have any effect?
No. In the sense that you're not helping them, and you're asking them not to sack, how would they pay their staff? If there's a way they can have funds into the bank that they can do business with, that way, then the federal government, it's not federal government that is paying the salaries of this staff, if you think of it very well. So you're giving them a directive to hold on till July. Who's going to pay their salary? How would they make that money? What business would they do? If there's a way they can come up with some things that they can do and get money, then nobody wants to sack, because if you have good hands, nobody wants to lay off their good hands. So that's why I feel.
Okay, so let's say some quick tips for any banking officials or banking staff that might have been laid off and now they're wondering where to go. There are literally like 5,000 people that have just rejoined, you know, the job market. Do you have any advice?
One of the things I tell people is, in as much as you're working, so long as you're not the owner of the business, that job is not guaranteed. So you should always look for something to do by the side. Now, if any one of the people that have been laid off have one vocation, the people that can survive right now are those that have entrepreneurial skills already. Then they can just have something to fall back on. But if you don't have any skill, just look for something. It's not the end of the world. That's what I believe. The fact that you're being laid off, if you're that good, you can pick up and easily you move on. So what I would advise is look for something doing. Don't dwell on the fact that you've been sacked for a long time. It's not an excuse. There's always a way out. That's what I feel.
Somebody made a comment, and I don't know how true this is, but that this is actually more of an annual thing. That banks, you know, it's almost like a cycle. Is that correct?
I don't want to believe that. Even if it's like a cycle, you don't want to keep people in your system that are not performing. If you have a non-performing staff, you should let them go. Then you bring in new hands.
Like, just let them go.
I don't want. Okay, I'm an HR person. Maybe that's why. Even a lot of people feel HR people are harsh.
I know.
In the sense that the company, they invest in you in order to get returns. They are not bringing you in to just lay around. So if you're in the system and you're not performing up to standard, you're not meeting the goals and the objective of the company, because the company is there to maximize profit at all times. So that's one of the reasons why at the end of the year, they check your appraisal. If you're not meeting up to standard,
that's it.
Wow.
I know that those tips you've given are definitely handy, not just for people in the banking industry, but anybody who's in these times of economic crunch, like we now say here.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you know, things that we need to keep in mind. It's definitely motivation for people to get like second sources of income, learn a skill, you know, expand your skill base, look at how you can be more valuable to your organization. This is the time to say, okay, can I try this out, or can you give me this responsibility? You know, for me, it's actually also a time you can grow in this kind of period because it challenges you, I think. Yeah,
for those that are motivated to help themselves, for those that don't believe that one setback is end of the world for them, then you'll be surprised what the potential some of what these people have in them that they never knew they had.
That is true.
So this challenge now would, let's look at the bright side. Those that have one skill or the other, they can venture into something, and before you know it, they are even employing other people.
Yes, yeah. Definitely very valuable advice, you know. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for
We're going to be calling you for some other advice, but you have to be kind. You can't just be saying let them go anyhow, just let them go now.
I'm not saying let them go anyhow, but let's be realistic. The organization, they're not making money, so how would they pay? If they want to work for free until they make money, yeah.
That's even worse, guys. Let's take a quick break before she now says something else.